Right. Uh, Calvin Robinson. It was quite a good speech, except for a couple of things. The first one I want to clear up is what he says here.
With you real quickly while we've got the time, because it's the most important story I've ever observed, and I'll speak about this story till the day that I die. There was a young woman called Patient ST, and I had a TV show in the United Kingdom until I got fired for being too Christian and too conservative. And on my TV show, we got this press release saying there's a young woman called Patient ST who she got COVID and she had comorbidities and she wasn't doing too good. But the national healthcare system in the United Kingdom said that she's actively...
Now, what he's saying here is that he got the sack from GB News for being too Christian and conservative. That's not true, is it? He got sacked from GB News for supporting his friend and colleague for saying, who would shag that about somebody live on air? So he asked Dan Wootton, who would shag that? I remember the exact words. And they got the sack. Calvin was most upset that his mate Lawrence Fox, who does come out with some rather obnoxious things quite a lot of the time. Actually, well, they all do. Calvin tends to be. Dan Wootton's a bit more polished, but they all. Calvin decided that he was not going to appear on the Dan Wootton show without Dan Wootton. So GB News sacked him because he was in breach of contract. But Calvin claims it was because he was too Christian and conservative. Okay, we now come to what this is all about.
This I see as the last stand for the West. This is the last stand for Christendom. It's make or break time. The whole of the old world is crumbling. Every country in Europe is embracing death. America, as far as I could see, is the only country fighting for life. And that's down to you guys. So God bless all of you for what you're doing. Please keep doing it. I hope that I can encourage you. And my heart goes out to you. God bless.
Amazing, amazing.
First question we need to ask. I mean, if he's so into if fighting darkness, and Britain is in such darkness, and he's really into fighting such darkness, we have to ask, why has he fled the battle and legged it to America? Now, I would like to ask him that, but he's cancelled me, as you can see. What does he know about what's happening in Britain and Europe? Well, he's over there. I mean, okay, he does these podcasts with Lawrence Fox called Fox and Father. He's just had his license revoked, so he can't be calling himself Father Calvin Robinson anymore. He's just Mr. Calvin Robinson. So he's calling himself a cancelled priest. Well, he's not a priest anymore. It's been revoked. What do they know? I mean, the kind of people he talks to, I mean, they're kind of into, they're just kind of like right wing, anti establishment conspiracy theorists who believe the whole world is against them. The thing is, we have to be against them at points, including the majority of us on the right, have to be against them because their views, some of them, are so obnoxious. But what was that about? Now, so he claims they're still fighting in America and we're throwing in the towel. No, we're still fighting here. He threw in the towel and legged it over the pond. Okay, he fled the battlefield. We're still here, so we won't take any nonsense from him because we're still fighting for Christ and country. So, then of course, he decided to do that Nazi salute. Right, the Anglican Catholic Church, which he was a member of, which he was a priest in, I understand that the apostolic succession of the bishop who ordained him is somewhat dubious, but we won't go into that now. But the bishops in his church have made a statement. At approximately 3 p.m. today, members of the College of Bishops of the ACC were made aware of a post made on X showing the end of a speech made by Calvin Robinson at the National Pro-Life Summit in Washington, D.C. In it, he closed his comments with a gesture that many have interpreted as a pro-Nazi salute. While we cannot say what was in Mr. Robinson's heart when he did this, his action appears to have been an attempt to curry favour with certain elements of the American political right. By provoking its opposition, Mr. Robinson has been warned that online trolling and other such actions, whether in service of the left or right, are incompatible with a priestly vocation and was told to desist. Clearly he has not, and as such his licence in this church has been revoked. He no longer serves as a priest in they were right to do so. They have followed church discipline as it has been followed for the last 2,000 years. There's a lot of YouTubers come out in defence of him. I mean, I'm very disappointed in Gavin Ashenden coming out in support of him. I'm surprised at that, actually. Dan Wootton's no surprise. And he says that why is the fuss about this and not the fuss about the Bishop of Liverpool having to resign over child sex abuse stuff? Right, now, basically, we got woke. The dominoes are starting to fall. Cotterell will be next with that bishop. It's all unraveling. Uh, but that has actually nothing to do with the Anglican Catholic Church, which Calvin Robinson was an ordinand of. So he was refused ordination in the C of E. And as time has gone on, I'm beginning to think maybe that was the right call. And he joined the Free Church of England. Then they sort of like then they found a bishop with somewhat dubious apostolic succession to get him into the Eastern Catholic Church. Then he didn't last there either, and then so he joined the Anglican Catholic Church. Never heard of them until he joined, and he hasn't lasted there either. It's like his mate Brett. Didn't last in the Anglican Church in Australia. Came here, joined the C of E. Didn't last there. Joined the Free Church of England, and has his license revoked there. And Anglican Mission in Europe don't want him. And the Reformed Episcopal Church in the USA, which is part of GAFCON, have said no to him as well. What this is just church discipline, but it's clear that a lot of the stuff that people are saying in defence of and slagging off the bishops don't know what they're saying. I mean, they seem to. Maya Tahuzi is a right muddle. I mean, he seems to actually be implying that this is something to do with the Church of England, which it hasn't anything to do with the Church of England, and church discipline has been followed. Some of their views are rather obnoxious, and they publicly say them. in a political arena to get hits on YouTube and Twitter, and church discipline has brought them into line. But if they can't be brought into line, they have to be defrocked, and that's basically what has happened time and time again to Calvin Robinson. So um, he claims it's all persecution for being too Christian and conservative. That really isn't the case. Basically, he cancelled me on Twitter because his mate Brett Murphy was referring to gay people as sodomites and women priests as witches, and I just basically called out the bigotry of his friend, and he told me to repent and got upset. He got upset, told me to repent, and cancelled me. Not that I'm bothered. But he has some rather obnoxious views, and he's also a bit of an idiot. And his bishops have done the right thing, as has the Bishop Fenwick in the Free Church of England done the right thing with him and his mate Brett. And basically, the C of E were right not to ordain him too. Very rare that I would actually say the C of E were right and bishops were right about anything, but even a broken clock is right once a day, isn't it? Or is it twice? Anyway, some people are saying he just needs to become Roman Catholic, but something tells me that the Roman Catholic Church won't have him because they actually follow church discipline as it's been disciplined for 2,000 years. He won't bother and go to the Eastern Orthodox because they'll just say, right, first you have to do a catechism course and become a catechumen, then you can join the Orthodox Church as a member of the laity. And well, he's far too proud for that, isn't he? So I guess he'll just carry on misrepresenting the ancient faith some way or other, and claiming to be persecuted for righteousness instead of persecution for being having obnoxious, being an idiot and having obnoxious views in certain areas. Defending the indefensible at times, which he has. Anyway, bless you all. See you again soon.